Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Cookup with Beatz. Today we're going to be using digital audio workstation Logic Pro X, and we're going to be starting from scratch as always. Today my setup, I'm using my Rode NT1A microphone to record so you guys can hear me. I'm going to be using my Cookup Chrome piano, no other MIDI controller. This is actually a MIDI controller, a synthesizer, and a workstation itself. And I will be using my machine. I always like to use my machine to create my drums, whether I'm in Pro Tools, Fruity Loops, Machine, or whatever program I'm in. I've really been using the machine a lot. We're going to be going that route today. Since we're going to go ahead and be cooking up from scratch, let's go ahead and hop into it, and I'll catch you guys on the inside. Now we're in the box. Today we'll be going ahead and starting with the Logic Pro X, and I don't have anything loaded up. So if you guys have been following me, you'll know that now I've created about 8 drum kits, which are available at rawbbeats.org. So we're actually going to be using those, of course, because that's all I actually use now. And we're going to be using some third-party synthesizers. I still have my contact module in the works. It's going to be called Planet Trap, I'm sorry. So you guys can look for that coming out here next month in July. It's going to be about mid-July. I'm almost done with it. I have a few more things to tie up on it. You guys can look for that. So we're not going to be using that today. If you check my last video, you will actually see a quick example of that piano arpeggiator that I've implemented into the Planet Trap module. But today we're going to be using some third-party VSTs and with my drum kits. And we're going to go ahead and get started. Let's see here what we have. What are we feeling today? Maybe like a little smooth vibe, a type of R&B or a trap soul or something like that. So it's been a while since I've used Reactor. Let's start off with Reactor 5. And let's go ahead and start off with the Prism. Kind of like that. Let's go ahead and start off with that pattern. Alright, now that we have that pattern going, let's go ahead and put it into place. And it's an 8-bar loop, as you see. First thing I do after I go ahead and play and put it in, I Control A, or actually it's Command A on the Mac, and then we're going to quantize, select all, we're going to quantize, put everything where it's supposed to be. Okay, great. So now we're going to go ahead and move on to the next sound. Once I get that first sound, I go ahead and hit Control Save. We're going to go ahead and save it as Cookup with Beatz, episode 2. Make sure you guys save. I constantly save, that way I'm not losing my work. And once I get my first melody, I go ahead and move on to my second melody. And now we're actually going to keep it with Reactor and see what other sounds we can find. That is a great thing to do. If you're using a VST, try to stay with that VST if you can. That way you're going to have similar sounds. I'm not saying it's wrong to go to other VSTs, but you may be able to get the rhythm of the song locked in a lot more if you stick with some of the similar sounds or similar synthesizers that you're actually using. And let's see here. I actually like that sound, so I'm not going to create another melody with that one. I'm just going to hold Alt, click on the MIDI and drag it down. That's a copy. Alright, now we got that going, so let's go ahead and move on to the third one. Still using Reactor, we're using Prism again. So go ahead and take that loop, and we're going to do that twice. Again, select all, quantize. Actually, I don't really like that one, so let's redo that pattern. I think that's a lot better. I like that groove a little bit better. Don't be afraid to delete things, man. I know some producers start all the way over sometimes, and I've been in that phase a lot. But don't be afraid to mess around with different melodies and do different things. I mean, it can enhance your program. Not your program, I'm sorry. It can enhance your song. And let's try our best to make our song as best as possible. So let's see here. Loop that. And actually, not going to go back there. We're going to just merge this. Right click and merge. It's going to merge that to one MIDI. So I think we have a good enough melody there, so we can go ahead and start adding the bass. And of course, if you guys have watched my other videos, you see I talk a lot about the Boxogen instance that I created in Massive. I'm gonna go to mono. I always make my basses in mono. Give that a second to load. Alrighty, there we go. And then I go to my browser, and if you guys would like this 808 or this bass, like I said, it's in my Ultimate Trap Pack bundle, and it's in the Future OVO sound kit with drum kits that I've created. Boxogen, type that in, and there we go. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that in. Quick by itself so you guys can hear. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and go ahead and select these and bring these down one octave. And we want to make this little slide about right here. I can hear that now. So as I'm going along, if I hear something, I go ahead and add it in real quick. the same thing here again and bring that up 1 octave, put it into the key. Oh, that's the right key. So that's good. So I actually hear 2 different things here. So I'm going to go ahead and push this one over. And with Alt and clicking the MIDI pattern, bring it back. I'm just going to change 1 note here. Take that one off. So this gives a little bit more movement. That way it doesn't sound too generic or just the same. So we're going to take those and push them over also. As you guys see how easy it is to work in Logic, it's just pretty much select, duplicate. I mean, a lot of people have problems with the transition from Logic to Fruity Loops. To be honest, Logic was not my first transition from FL Studios, but if it were, I think I would have been more pleased, to be honest, because since I've started working into this digital audio workstation, you see how things actually translate as though it is Fruity Loops, except for we just don't have that pattern builder that Fruity Loops has. But you still have your piano roll, and you're still able to manipulate the MIDI in any instance in any way that you want. So we're going to go ahead and unsolo the bass and give it the whole project play real quick to see what we have so far. Sounds really good to me so far. So another thing I like to do is give it kind of like an intro to make it come in soft. So I'm gonna move everything to the right one more time, bring all of this back, and this time what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take out this bass. Actually, I'm not gonna delete it. I'm just gonna select it and bring it down to the next track, and we're gonna create a synth bass from this instance. And let's see here. The synth bass I like to use a lot is the, I'm not sure if people have, some people purchase it, some people haven't, the Studio Link VST. The OVO VST, they have a great synth bass. I mean, I use other basses. You can actually create your own, but I like to use this bass sometimes. And it is the OVO R&B contact module. They built their own contact module. And it's just called this Dark Bass, I think. Yep, I think that's it. And it does look as though, or sound as though the bass is a little bit higher than I want it. So I'm gonna click on it, select all, and bring it down 1 octave. And what we're going to do is, since this is not an 808 and it won't be sliding like that, we're going to take out this note. And we're going to take out those other sliding notes that we created. And let's see here. There we go. I like mine to be a little dirty and just take some of the higher frequencies off. great. So now that we have that going, one more thing we're going to do is create the dark filling in the beginning. It's really easy to do automations in Logic. So let's see here if I can. Alrighty, so X is to bring up the little mixer window down here so I can show you guys real quick. And in this mixer window, I'm going to bring up the VST. Well, you see the VST's reactor that I'm using. If you have such as a filter, we're going to use the Waves one knob filter. And we're just going to automate it real quick, and you're going to see what I mean. To give it a more dark feeling. And filter stereo. Alrighty, so now that we have the Waves filter up, what we're going to do is have this filter cut off these frequencies in the beginning, and then in the latter part of the 16 bars 1 through 16, it's going to be a little bit dark, and then 16 through 32 is going to get brighter. So how we're going to do it is just bring this down here, and then what we're going to do is click this automation button here. This is the automation button for Logic. And while we have that automation button enabled, we're going to click this arrow, drop down, and go to the one knob filter. As you guys see, that's the filter there now. And all we're going to do is automate the filter. So click on the filter and automation. So at the beginning point of the filter is going to be, and we're going to bring it down to about maybe 4. So the position of the filter is going to be 4 here. And then for the other 16, we're going to create another dot, and we're going to bring it all the way back up to 10. Going to click there and make one more dot to bring this in to this position. And as you see here, it's kind of as though the filter is going to automate. It's going to go in, start in the 4 position, and it's going to slowly come up to the 10. So you may have to zoom in a little bit more. And one more quick thing, we're going to take this and take it to none. So we're going to take all of the resonance off. So let's see how that sounds real quick. Actually, we're going to automate all 3 of these bad boys. So we're going to Alt. Click on that one and drag it over. Click on this one and drag it over. And now we're good. So we're going to do the same thing to the other 2. All right, it looks as though all 3 of them are lining up perfect. So let's go ahead and give that a play, and we're going to see what we have now so far. And we're going to go ahead and cut the automation off. And you see it says show a high automation, so we hid the automation. I would like to bring it up a little bit more. I think it's a little too dark. So what we're going to do is go back into the automations, and we're going to bring them up a little bit more. Let's take them to 5. absolutely perfect. So now we're gonna go ahead with the machine and drop our drums in. And for this one in particular, we're going to actually use the Future OVO Sound drum kit. And let's see. We already got some 808, so let's find some kicks. Alright, so I like that pattern I'm playing. I'm gonna go ahead and record that in. Turn these down just a little bit so you guys can hear the drums a little bit clearer. Go ahead and record that snare in there. Alright, next I'm going to go ahead and add some hi-hats. Okay, so I actually like that hi-hat pattern, so I'm going to record that into the mix and cut that sampler off. And alrighty, let's go. Fits this one little pattern here. Alright, now that we have that in there, we're gonna go ahead and create a little bit more movement with the O-hats. To fix the little mistakes you made, all we do is select the O-hats, and on machine we're going to press shift, quantize. I'm just going to add a little bit more percussion here. Alright, so I'm gonna move that back to the beginning. Turn it down just a little. And quantize these. And we're gonna remove this one. And it's just to give a little bit more movement. All of this can be done on how you actually hearing the drum pocket or the drum melody you would like to create. So I have this other crash hitting every time the snare hits to give just a little bit more emphasis. We're gonna press X again. We're actually going to take that one knob filter, place it on down here, and then go back into your automation and create that same dark field from the beginning. .5 and hide the automation once again. Let's see what we have. I appreciate you guys for watching. Go ahead and make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, and share this video. If you have any questions on music theory, don't be afraid to ask. Don't be afraid to shoot me an email at rob@robbeatz, robbeatz.org. And just to let you guys know, if you would like to sign up for my monthly services, you sign up there on my website, you receive consultations, free drum kits, free beats. There's so much more content at the website. Make sure you go ahead and stop by today. Thank you guys for watching, tuning into this video. Have a great day.